Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Fans are so sad today. Tipping the scales, Ben Shephard's tears of joy as player lands record jackpot. Broken our hearts, this news must see. ITV Studios was bustling with activity. Lights were focused, cameras were locked in, and the iconic tipping point machine gleamed under the studio glow. Its metal counters stacked high like miniature silver hopes waiting to fall. Ben Shephard, the show's calm and charming host, straightened his blazer, looked at the producer for the countdown, and flashed his signature warm smile. Hello, and welcome to Tipping Point, the quiz where knowledge is power and timing is everything. We've got a special one today, 4 new contestants ready to take on the machine for a chance to win big. Little did anyone know, what began as a standard taping would end in a tear-filled crescendo, a historic moment that would redefine the show's legacy. The camera panned across 4 hopefuls standing behind their podiums. Jill, a 55-year-old retired nurse from Southampton, with a quiet presence and wise eyes. Kyle, a bouncy 24-year-old warehouse worker with a cheeky grin. Sonia, a 34-year-old events coordinator with nerves of steel. Martin, a 40-year-old special needs teacher from Birmingham, who was calm, reserved, and carried something deeper behind his soft smile. Ben turned his attention to Martin. Martin, tell us a little about yourself. Well, Martin said with a slight chuckle, I teach at a school for kids with learning disabilities. It's my passion. I've always believed that knowledge has different forms, and I've learned as much from my students as they have from me. The audience murmured with warmth. Ben raised an eyebrow. And if you win today? Martin hesitated, looked down at the silver tokens in the machine, then back at Ben. I want to open a sensory learning center, something permanent, a space that can serve more kids, especially those from disadvantaged backgrounds. Ben smiled. That's a beautiful goal, Martin. Best of luck. Round 1 moved fast. Kyle buzzed in too early and answered, the Eiffel Tower, to a question about deserts. He was eliminated with a playful shrug. Sonia was sharp but mistimed her drops. Jill edged forward with slow but smart play. But Martin quietly dominated. He didn't buzz in first every time, but when he did, he was accurate. His drops were meticulous. He avoided rash decisions, letting counters slide into the machine with surgical precision. By the end of round 2, he had secured the highest amount, £1,750, with a mystery prize token thrown in. An all-expenses paid family holiday to Cornwall. Nice bonus, Ben said. But I have a feeling you're aiming higher. Martin grinned. Just warming up. The semi-final saw Martin face Jill. Both were smart, both calm, but the machine favored Martin. One timely double counter tip 3 stacks. Jill smiled graciously when she was eliminated. He's the quiet storm, she said. I'm rooting for him. Martin advanced to the final, and Ben looked over the machine. You've got quite a spread here, Ben said. Lots of counters sitting on the edge. Jackpot's in a tricky position, though. Martin glanced up. That's life. Sometimes the prize is buried deep. You just have to chip away. Ben paused, then smiled. You ready to play for the jackpot? I was born ready. The studio quieted, lights dimmed slightly, focusing on Martin and the glowing machine. Ben stood beside him. You've banked £3,200 so far. That's yours. But we want that jackpot counter, don't we? Martin nodded. And remember, you've got 6 questions and 3 bonus counters. You know the rules. Let's chase it down. The audience leaned forward. Question 1. In Greek mythology, what was the name of the winged horse born from Medusa? Martin blinked. Pegasus? Correct. He released the first counter. It shuffled the front edge. 2 counters fell. The jackpot slid slightly forward. Question 2. What is the capital of Finland? Martin hesitated. Helsinki? Correct. Second counter dropped into zone 4. A crash. 4 counters fell. The jackpot moved again. Audible gasps from the audience. Question 3. Which famous physicist developed the theory of general relativity? Einstein. Correct. Third counter dropped with surgical aim, landed flat, nothing dropped. The audience groaned. Ben winced. It's sitting on the edge, but not tipping. Shall we keep going? Martin's focus didn't break. Absolutely. Question 4. What year did the Berlin Wall fall? Martin paused. 1989. Correct. Counter 4, this time a double. It crashed into the left side, a mountain of silver slid forward. Counters tumbled. The jackpot token wobbled, it tipped, but it didn't fall. Ben gasped. It's right there. Question 5. In computing, what does HTTP stand for? Martin closed his eyes. Hypertext Transfer Protocol. Correct. Another counter dropped. Everything fell, but the jackpot remained clinging to the edge. Ben crouched to inspect it. It's literally half off. This is unbelievable. Martin exhaled slowly. Final question. In art, what does the term chiaroscuro refer to? Martin blinked. The contrast between light and dark. Correct. Final counter. All or nothing. It dropped dead center. It hit the tipping shelf perfectly. One final cascade of silver counters fell. And with them, the jackpot counter slipped, spun, and dropped into the collection tray. A beat. Then the audience exploded. Ben's jaw dropped. He turned toward the jackpot tray, then back to Martin. You've done it. Martin, you've won the tipping point jackpot. Confetti rained down as Ben approached Martin, hand outstretched. I've hosted over 1,000 episodes of this show. I've seen incredible wins. But this was different. Martin was holding back tears. I didn't think I could, but I knew why I needed to. Ben took a breath. That final counter on a double with 6 correct answers. That's never happened before. And the jackpot amount today? The screen flashed £20,000, the largest jackpot in tipping point history. The studio gasped again. Ben turned to Martin, his voice quivering slightly. That's £20,000. For your dream, for your school, for your students. Martin blinked, visibly shaking. They're going to have a place now, somewhere they can feel safe and learn, not just for a term, for years. And then it happened. Ben Shephard, Mr. Composed, teared up. He turned away, hand to his eyes, then faced Martin again. This is what television's supposed to be, not just entertainment, hope, real hope. The crew behind the camera were sniffling. The audience stood for a standing ovation. The episode aired on a quiet Thursday evening. ITV was not prepared for what followed. Within minutes, social media exploded. I've never cried at tipping point before. Until now, Martin's win restored my faith in humanity. Ben Shephard crying, I'm ruined. Don't pair. Clips of the jackpot counter tipping with the dramatic final cascade hit over 12 million views in 24 hours. Newspapers ran headlines like, Tears and Triumph, Tipping Point's biggest win ever. Ben breaks down on air as contestant wins £20,000. Martin was invited to radio shows, podcasts, and educational panels, but he declined most interviews. I want the attention on the kids, he said. This wasn't about me. It was about what they deserve. A year later, ITV followed up with a special segment. Tipping Point. 1 year later, viewers saw Martin cut the ribbon on the new sensory center, filled with interactive tools, calming rooms, and advanced learning devices. Several of his students smiled shyly at the cameras. Ben visited during the filming. The children greeted him with handmade cards. One little girl gave him a lanyard that read, Ben, our quiz champion. Ben knelt beside her and whispered, No, love, Martin's the champion. I just press the buttons. Tipping Point continued its run. New contestants arrived. Counters fell. Jackpots were won. But none like that day. The day a soft-spoken teacher named Martin stepped up, took a chance, and walked away with more than just money. He walked away with a dream fulfilled. And a tearful Ben Shephard stood right there with him. Proof that in the world of game shows, sometimes the biggest win isn't just measured in pounds, but